another of your clients is Michael Penix Jr. When did you first enter his orbit?
So similar to JJ, connection through coaches, connection through an agent, because of another NFL player that I train. And I got to actually meet Mike's dad about 3 years ago, and then Mike 2 years ago. And it's been awesome the entire time. I heard RG3 say that he believes he's probably the best pure thrower in this draft class. And it would be hard to be more pure than Mike. What makes
it so pure? I mean, we talk frequently on this show that NFL films can't wait for him to get to the next level because that's the spiral that they zoom in. Like they love the spiral zooming in. And he's got an NFL film spiral.
Yeah, and I'm not taking away from anybody else's spiral, right?
Right.
I mean, Mike's arm action with the ball and how it comes out. I mean, look, there's a combination of some things. It's his arm action, it's his hands, it's the ball, it's so many things. But whenever receivers that haven't seen him before get out on the field, they always, oh man, that guy's ball is just humming and it is pure. And that's one thing also, the path, the repetitive path of a pure throw. It's not just like arm talent, but it's what the ball is doing in the air. It's how cleanly it flies. We've had players that have been really, really star players in this league, guys that are currently in it, guys that were in it and have come back to help coach, and they're on the field and they all recognize it. That guy, man, he throws a just pure ball. The other thing that people are surprised by, how strong his arm is. A lot of people, I see his arm on tape, and then they see it field level, and they always say, wow, I did not realize that's how much juice is coming on that ball.
And red flag for him is obviously injury history, but how are you going to address that, right? Other than look at what I've done since I've come back from injury. That's what he wrote about in his Players' Tribune.
I think he did a great job.
He did. The red flag you hear about him on the field is the way he played against Michigan and how that's going to be the next level type defense he's going to face. Intermediate type passing game, short passing game, kind of an issue. How do you respond to that, John?
Okay, so obviously the Texas game was better for Mike than the Michigan game. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean because the Michigan game happened, those are can'ts, right? There was a few plays here or there where they have some things in their offense that are reads. The wideout is reading on the fly. Mike has two option routes, a high one and a low one. There's a lot going on. I heard you talk in the previous segment about you hear from people Mike's ability to read a defense.
Spectacular.
Absolutely true. Some of the things that he's processing during the play, it's outstanding. And so he's processing and he's anticipating something from the wide receiver, and they've done such a good job all year of being on the same page. There were a few plays in that game, they just weren't on the same page. So some of the throws that some people might say, oh, that's inaccurate, the root of it is actually them being on the same page, not Mike's inability to be accurate at that space on the field. So I believe that he's a guy that I've seen hit every throw across the field. And the things that he's worked on and moving off of the spot were on full display in the Texas game. And so I think teams that really like Mike, they're looking for the things that say, here's what we're getting, and then here's how we can help take that to the next level. Some people are trying to discredit Mike. They're going to say, well, look, that's proof of why he can't do that. You can find what you're looking for. That's the bias of things. And I just think the teams that like him, they're the ones that are seeing some of those plays in the Texas game, in some of the championship games he played in, and saying, see, there's proof again that I know what I'm seeing is there.
Also, isn't processing one of the most important, if not the most important traits you want to have in a prospect going from one level to the next?
Absolutely.
Because, my goodness, our defensive coordinators really good in the National Football League, and Rod Woodson once told me the most adaptive creature ever created is an NFL defense, that they will adapt week to week, season to season,
quarter
to quarter,
100%.
I mean, processing is kind of big.
Yeah, it's huge. When I first get guys, whether I've had experience with them or not, I like to go through, give me your 3 best college games, give me your 3 worst. That's the starting point.
Right.
And let's go through what you're processing on the field. It starts with the way you're calling plays. How's your offense structured? How do you have to memorize a play? How do you have to speak a play to your teammates? What's coming in? What's going out? Okay, now defensively, what are you being asked to look at through the entire picture? What are you being asked to process? How much of a game plan are you needing to retain? And can you pull back on draw on that information in split second? That's what an NFL coach wants to know, because he doesn't want to feel limited by the processing ability of the quarterback so that now he can't do what he wants to do in a game plan. What he wants is to be able to understand where that guy's coming from. So now I can give you the game plan, and I can understand that you're processing at a high level. So then our communication throughout the week on game day, we're hitting on this level. It's really hard for coaches, because if they feel they're here but the process of their quarterback is here, they can't stay up there. They have to come to his level. I do think that's where great coaching comes in, because the coach's ability to say, all right, I'm going to find out where you're at, and now I'm going to help you here. When it's tough on quarterbacks is when the coach is up here constantly getting frustrated as a player down here. That gap actually hinders the progress of the team.
Fantastic. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.